Welcome back to my channel where the theme is whatever I feel like talking about that day. Today I'm talking through my Croatia trip plans because planning this trip has become like its own little adventure. So if you like travel, solo energy, or just listening to someone think out loud, you're in the right place. All right, so I made little notes to myself and I made this little table because all my other notes were super crazy. I planned as much as I could. There's some things I want to plan when I'm on site because sometimes you get there and you just run out of energy. So I don't want to pre-book too much, but I do like to start with like some anchor items to get me started. But the things I still need to do on one of my extension activities is to take a ferry to a park. One of the days I'm thinking of doing like a 3 island boat hopping trip. And then on the last day in Dubrovnik, there's like a cable car that takes you up to this mountain that I was looking at. So these are kind of optional things I can do when I get there if I'm still feeling in the mood. All right. So the first day is Tuesday. So that's in about 6 weeks. I'm going to fly from my hometown to Split, Croatia. I leave in the afternoon, which is great. I ended up booking a multi city ticket because it was cheaper to fly into Split and to fly out of Dubrovnik. So I had to try a couple of different itineraries, and that one was the cheapest. One of the things I did do intentionally was to try to book through Lufthansa because when I flew on them in the past, they let you upgrade closer to the time. So I've been tracking those flights to see if I can upgrade to business class because business class is the best. I made a note to myself that when I do get to the airport, I'm not sure which airport, but one of them, I do need to try to get some euros because I don't know another way to do that. I don't have like a international ATM or anything. Anyway, it's going to take me a day. I'll get to Europe on Wednesday. I have a Black Lane credit with my credit card company. So I'm going to try to use that because trying to use $100 in the US is, I haven't found a way to do it because it's usually more than that. So I'll try Black Lane. If I can get it for $100, I'll take that from the airport to the hotel. If not, I can take Uber. And then I put a note here if I'm feeling fancy. I can try to take an airport bus, but Philip is telling me that like I'm in my ease era. I don't need to be taking public transit when I land in a foreign country, so I'll probably take Uber. I did book a package with Gate One. I've used them for a few trips in the past and had positive experiences. Since it's a foreign country, I'm a brown girl and I'm traveling by myself. I like the security of just a company behind me. So I'll start the trip off with them. Um, So the so I'll land at the airport they booked for us, and then Thursday we start our activities. The first day we're doing a walking tour. The second day they're taking us to one of the islands there. You can do wine tasting or just walk around. I like walking around. It just feels like there's no pressure. I'm not like a super. I don't mind highlights. I don't like spending like hours in museums and stuff. And like I said in the beginning, I'm kind of in my ease era. Like I don't have a lot of things that I'm trying to accomplish. I just want to see a new place, breathe some different air. Saturday is a free day, which means the tour group doesn't have anything lined up. They had optional things, but I want to build in that time because I have just traveled, across a continent to get here. So I'll probably just rest. The next day, they have an activity for us to visit one of the national parks. I really like national parks. There's just something mystical I find when like you hear the wind through the trees. It feels like you're a part of nature. Monday, I'm gonna do Mostar, and that's in a different country, Bosnia. I've never really known anybody that visited Bosnia, so that seemed like a nice little novelty. So I chose to do that. That was optional, but I bought that option. And then Tuesday, that day is another free day with the tour group. So I booked a rafting trip with Viator. Does it show the link? Um, So that'll be fun. I think it'll be nice to just end the trip on a high note. I looked up how to get there, and I think you can take a bus or a taxi or something, but it was only 1.3 miles. So if I remember to take my walking shoes, oh, that's a good point. If I take my walking shoes, I don't want them to get wet. I may have to rethink this. Um, but yeah, I plan to walk to meet up with the group. And so for the first time, I'm going to try eSIM, which is through Airalo. I actually got a new phone that was eSIM compatible because I knew I was taking a few international trips this year. And I wanted to try to do more things solo. So that'll be kind of my first experience, like out in the wild by myself. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So after that, the trip ends with the tour group, and then I'm going to be on my own for the next week or so. I wanted to do some more island hopping. So we're with the Gate 1 group, we'll be in Split, Croatia. And then there's like a series of islands off the coast. And one of those islands is Korčula, or I think they pronounce it Korčula. So I'm going to transfer by myself. I'm going to transfer independently from the hotel. Or the internet says you can either take an Uber. Since I'll have my luggage, I'll probably take an Uber, or you can walk a little over a mile from the hotel to the ferry port. And I already booked the ferry because that was one of the things, since I know I'm going to need transportation. They said you could. So I use Philip and Charles, which is Copilot and ChatGPT, to help me. And they said you could walk up during, you could do like day of. Sorry, I'm all choppy. I haven't done this in a while. You could do day of and buy the ferry ticket, but I just like to have things pre-planned so I don't have to think about it. Like I don't want to get there at the time you're supposed to leave and then forget that I didn't have my ticket. So I already booked that ticket. Um, and like I said, since I'll be with my luggage, I'll probably just take an Uber. Hashtag ease era. So I get to the islands on Wednesday. This is the ferry, and Charles and Philip said it's only 2 blocks. I'm going to walk from the ferry to the hotel and then just rest because it'll be evening time. I'm hoping that the hotel, I tried to buy half board, but I don't think it worked because I booked the hotel through a third party site. So I'll add half board on there. It's probably more expensive, but again, I don't want to have to be thinking about what to eat for breakfast and dinner. So I'll probably have dinner at the hotel, wake up the next day, and this is where it's kind of optional to me. One of the things I could do is go visit a national park, but if I'm too tired, I might do that the next day. That's why I have the ferry on site, so I'll just decide how I feel that day. Or knowing me, I'll probably just stay in bed. So even though I'm not really switching countries, it's kind of a day of travel. I'm like day of in transit. Saturday will be my third full day in Korčula, and then there's an opportunity to either do the national park again, or there's a taxi boat that takes you through like the other islands. So I might try that. And then Copilot gave me some ideas to kind of look for things to do. I guess on the first island, Badija, you can look for deer that's everywhere, or you can just kind of circumnavigate, take a walk around the island. That sounds kind of cool. Walk around a whole island on foot. They said the Vernick Island is kind of quaint. And then Stoop, you can get like, it's a good place for drinks and just like soaking in the ocean vibes. This is all going to be weather dependent. I'm extremely heat intolerant. So if it's over 70, I'll probably just stay at the hotel. And then, so I gave myself 4 full days on the island. And then I gave myself two days of activities if I felt up to it. So I can have half activity, half rest, and then just kind of relax. And then my flight leaves Croatia on Tuesday. So I'm going to transfer from Korčula to Dubrovnik, and there's a ferry that'll take you to the next place. That should be about $20. I'll probably walk from the hotel to the ferry since it's only 2 blocks, even though I'll have my luggage. And I'm really only staying at this in Dubrovnik to get my plane the next day because it's an early departure. So I don't have too many plans. So when I asked Charles and Philip, they just said like something you could do lightly is like take a cable car just to like see the sights and see the city. And then they recommended this restaurant because it has grilled prawns. And I love seafood, or at least I love shrimp and lobster and crab. And so yeah, I'll get there in the afternoon, probably rest a little bit, drop off my luggage, just walk around the town. It's an old town, it's a walled city, so that sounds interesting. And then eat dinner, relax, and book my transfer to the airport for the next day. And they said I could do either Uber or Bolt. I guess Bolt is like the Uber in Croatia. Hold on a second.